Hi, my name's Austin. I'm on staff here at Maddox Foundation, and today we are talking with the Healing Hearts Child Advocacy Center. We have Miss Sally Williams, who is the Executive Director, and Darlene Cunningham, who is the Community Outreach Coordinator. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
So excited to talk with you guys today and learn a lot about really just advocating for children and some of the different things that we're seeing happen, specifically with child abuse cases during this pandemic. And you guys were actually featured as the nonprofit of the year at this year's Crystal Ball with the Community Foundation of Northwest Mississippi. So congratulations on that. Sally, why don't you start us off and just tell us a little bit more about Healing Hearts and what you guys do?
Sure. Thanks, Austin. We were thrilled to receive that award, and it's an honor for me to work at Healing Hearts. I can tell you, we are our community's response to child abuse. Our mission at Healing Hearts is to respond to child abuse with a supportive team approach that reduces trauma through advocacy, education, awareness, and prevention. So we work with community partners as well as our staff that we have to respond to child abuse cases that are sent to us through law enforcement and child protection services. We also work with Le Bonheur Children's Hospital for our medical exams, and on staff we have multidisciplinary team coordinators, family advocates, mental health therapists, and trained forensic interviewers who are all part of bringing a child abuse case, seeing that from the beginning to the end to prosecution.
Awesome. Definitely a much needed resource in our community. One of the things I loved in reading about you guys was talking about how a child during a regular interview, they may have to tell their story, 5 or 6 times. And, when you're talking about a 6 or 7-year-old, it can be difficult to do that and then to just remain consistent amongst those testimonies. And so with you guys and your collaborations with Child Protective Services, the police department, district attorneys, everything like that, allows them to all come into it in one sweep. You get that one interview and then they're able to get all the information that they need to protect the child and to make sure that they're in a safe environment. And so that's a very, very crucial thing and very much so needed in our community. And so how have you guys been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic?
During the pandemic, we have seen a drop in child abuse reports. That's across the nation. That's not just here. That's across the world, actually. We have not had our normal reporting coming in. We have had we worry about children and them being out of their norm and in a social situation where they are not seeing their educators, they are not seeing people that they normally see on a daily basis. Because as we know from statistics, educators usually report 1 in 5 of the child abuse reports that we see that come in. And because these children are not going to school, they're not seeing those people on a normal basis. They're not seeing those trusted individuals, those trusted adults that they normally see. They're in a different situation. A lot of them are at home. A lot of stressors have increased during this pandemic. So, anything from parental stress to economic instability, housing insecurity, there's a lot of things that have happened to all of us, and sometimes those get shifted onto the children. They may be left at home alone because parents have to still work. I mean, this is a hard time for everybody. So it's important for folks in the community who may see these children, you may see things that you say, I don't know if that's right, or I have a weird feeling about that. And that's where we want to remind people that everybody in Mississippi is a mandated reporter. And it's important to know that you don't have to have proof to report child abuse. All you have to have is the suspicion of child abuse to report it. And then once it's reported, Child Protection Services or law enforcement will take it from there. And if they have the belief that there is child abuse there, then they will refer it to us as a center. But, we have not shut our doors during this pandemic, and we will not shut our doors during this pandemic. We want to make sure that we are there to offer services to our children and our families and our partners that we need. We want to continue to safely protect the most vulnerable children in our community. And, we can't do that if we shut our doors, and we don't intend to anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what are some things that the community should be aware of? What are some things that, just me, an average guy out and about, maybe at the grocery store or going for my daily stroll through my neighborhood, what are some things that I should be looking for, or that could possibly be a red flag that something's not right, or this may be a case of child abuse?
Well, Austin, I'll address that. When the signs and symptoms that people need to be aware of is that there's changes in a child. Like if you're a neighbor, a family member, an educator maybe that sees them, even with a mask on, whatever, if you see different things, there's different types of abuse, and that's something people need to be aware of, that those will all look different. So obviously, for obvious reasons, physical abuse would be like unexplained injuries, unseasonal clothing covering up injuries, excessive bruising, things like that. So sexual abuse might be fear of being left alone. You might see self-harm or mutilation signs, a change in a child's mood. When we finally get out to, or we're all allowed to be out and around our neighbors, our friends, our family members, there's going to be signs and symptoms that people can be aware of to know that this child may have been in some type of harmful situation in their home life due to the stressors, like Sally said, that may have been going on in the home. If they've been neglected, maybe they have lost a lot of weight. Maybe there's a sense of lack of protection or lack of supervision for the child when we can all get back out again. And the main thing is to just follow your gut instincts. And if they suspect something, to report it. They can go to our website and to find out how to report. And that's www.healingheartscac.org. And it shows where to report. The most effective way is to do it online so that they can hear everything you have to say about what you've noticed. People don't have to have everything. Another thing people need to know is they think they have to have everything tied up in a bow, in a ribbon with a bow on top. They have to know everything, and they don't. If they have a suspicion, report it. This is something, and let the system work to find out, to investigate. We're not the investigators.
Yeah. And what a great point to, just remain consistent with those kids that, either are your neighbors, or that before the pandemic that you were daily talking to, just continuing to connect with them and be around them. And that way you can notice those signs of changes, and any sign of change could potentially be something big. And so great points there. And you said for reporting information on how to do that, just visit healingheartscac.com. And so what should we be prepared for moving forward, coming out of this pandemic into this new normal? What should we be prepared for, and what can we expect to see?
Well, probably what I'm hearing from experts that we're listening to podcasts on across the country, again, like Sally said, this is across the country, not just in our community, but it does happen here in our community as well, is that the numbers of the reports may be down now, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. So therefore, when the schools open back up, let's say it's in August, probably once they start trusting a new teacher, that type of thing, reports are going to go way up. People can be back in their church families. When they can be back around other people, we're going to be seeing a large increase of reports. But this is the thing that we have to remember, is that we still need to make the reports. Even though the reports are down low, that doesn't mean this isn't the time to report.
Yeah.
During this pandemic, everything's unprecedented, of course, but we're seeing that most of the experts are saying that there's going to be a huge rise in reports once children are back out around other people that they trust.
Yeah, absolutely. And so moving forward, how can us as a community continue to support the Healing Hearts? What are some things that we can do to support you guys?
Well, Austin, April was, we're still in April. April was Child Abuse Prevention Month. And it's an important reminder for us that it's our job as a community. We rely on the community to see these things and to report them. But not only should we be concerned about that in April, we should be concerned about that every month, every day of the year, protecting our children, protecting those that are the most vulnerable, that are the youngest, that are the future for us. We've got to protect them. So it's important to remember, the tips that we've told you today about if you see something, say something, report it. And again, that website is healingheartscac.org. You can also call a 1-800 number, which is 1-800-222-8000. But again, you can go onto our website and it can show you that. But also in April, we had several fundraisers scheduled, and we had, our pinwheel planning scheduled. And I'm sure a lot of community members have seen our pinwheels. We actually did a few gardens, but we couldn't gather to do all of them like we normally do. So we have distributed them in neighborhoods throughout DeSoto and Tate County. So lots of folks have seen those, and we've had great response from that. It's just a reminder that everybody needs to protect our children. But because we've had to postpone or cancel two of our fundraisers that are in April, we're looking for help from the community always. So one of the things you can do is also visit our website and donate online. That would be very helpful. We really encourage people to follow our Facebook page as well. So you can follow that at Healing Hearts CAC. That's where we do a lot of our post updates throughout April and throughout the year. We've been doing a lot of tips and techniques about, different things you may can implement in your home, not only during the pandemic, but all the time. So it's important. That's a great thing, great resource is to follow us there, visit our website. If your heart pushes you in that direction, we would love to have donations as well from the community, because like I said, not only do we rely on the community to report this, we also rely on the community to support us.
Yeah.
So it's very important that they do that as well.
And I know Maddox Foundation, we have our nice little pinwheel garden out front to show our support and to hopefully raise more awareness. One statistic that you provided us with, Sally, that I found really fascinating was that in last year, in 2019, that there were 609 cases reviewed by multidisciplinary teams. And so 609 cases, that shows that there is a need for this, that this is happening in our community, and that all of us just need to remain diligent. And just as you said, if we see something, to say something. So thank you guys so much for all the work that you do. For more information on Healing Hearts and all the ways that you can support them and learn about them, feel free to visit their website at healingheartscac.org or visit them on Facebook. So thank you guys again for your time today.
Thank you, Austin. We appreciate it. Stay safe.